One of the biggest situations many of us need to conquer is the long day spent on foot. Standing up and walking all day can really take a toll on you if your feet ain't right. Next thing you know, the whole system's out of whack and you're walking around looking like one of Fat Albert and the gang. Look at that. I don't know what those animators were thinking. Anyway, so we want a shoe that allows for us to stand strong, handle our business, even if it requires 10-hour-long days standing on our feet. And we want to have the ability to turn right back around and do it all over again the next day like it ain't nothing. Now, what if I told you the shoe that you're looking for in order to accomplish this is in fact a pair of Crocs?
Are you stupid or something?
But that's when I discovered that sometimes my own preconceived notions can get in the way. Now I know from the moment I said Crocs, some of y'all already like, and honestly, I get it. But since I'm already a convert, let me cover some of the more practical attributes of a Croc. First of all, it's essentially a durable plastic shoe. You can get it wet, you can get it sandy, you can get it muddy, whatever, just rinse it off and it keeps on ticking. You can just step into it, and you can't underestimate the convenience of this attribute. Although some of y'all probably don't need the convenience and need to spend more time bending over. For exercise people, move your damn body, that's all. More flexibility. Man, y'all gonna mess around and get me cancer. Crocs still have sports mode, which gives them a little extra security staying on foot. Yes, the heel strap on the back of a pair of Crocs actually works. And yeah, fellas, you can wear your Crocs on the big swing without worrying about them landing in some kid's ice cream. And most importantly, when compared, your Croc is more similarly shaped like a foot than most shoes on the market. And this comes with a certain degree of comfort in itself. But hey, it's still a plastic shoe, so there's certainly a ceiling to the amount of comfort a pair of Crocs can provide, right? But what if I told you Crocs have evolved and a pair of Crocs can provide the same level of cushion as a max cushion pair of sneakers? Even as I sit here and recite the many benefits of a pair of Crocs, I know there's still plenty of y'all out there like, sometimes I feel like owning a pair of Crocs is like being in on something. And people that aren't in on it, well, you just can't tell them. It's sort of like, if you know, well, then you know. And some people are always gonna turn their nose up.
I'll never join you.
And that's fine. They're never gonna know. Fine by me, and obviously fine by them too. I'm not in the business of trying to get people to do something that they don't want to do. But if you're open to it, I am in the business of keeping people informed to what the possibilities are. And in this case, what's possible is that Crocs can make a damn good, both convenient and comfortable shoe that works well for long days on your feet. I'm talking about the Crocs Echo Clog and the Crocs Echo Wave. The Echo line has been around for nearly 3 years now, with the introduction of the Echo Clog back in October of 22. The shoe is made primarily out of Crocs' traditional cross-like material, but the footbed has been revitalized with Crocs drop-in light ride footbed. And this footbed makes all the difference. The light ride footbed is soft and makes the overall cushion of the shoe on par with many sneakers. Although unlike most sneakers, the cushion in Crocs comes mostly from the insole, whereas with most sneakers, the cushion actually comes from the outsole. So there is that difference. Okay, recently my family took a trip to Europe. Not a humble brag or anything, because it's my first time crossing an ocean, so I'm not really so worldly that I could brag. But the point is, I chose my Croc Echo Clogs for the airport and the flight, and they were the perfect choice. Now, I'm not really one for being barefoot in public unless I'm at the pool, but it was nice to be able to slide my foot out of the back of the shoe and stretch it out. Now, I know some of y'all like to wear flip-flops and sandals on a flight anyway, and then put your feet all over everything, which makes me not want to touch anything. But hey, I digress. When we arrived to Barcelona, we weren't able to check into our room. And while I was still wearing my Crocs, we proceeded to walk nearly a mile to meet my family and then straight into 6 or 7 hours of sightseeing. which included lots and lots of walking and lots and lots of standing. Now, I didn't set out that day to take 10,000 plus steps and spend 16 straight hours in my Croc Echo Clogs. It just really worked out that way. But honestly, it couldn't have worked out better. In spite of the Croc Echo Clogs being mostly an oversized slip-on, I found them easy to walk around in. The shoe flexes nicely as you step, and when combined with the design of the footbed, it doesn't take extra effort to hold the shoe on foot while you walk. I find that with many slides, you gotta kind of hold them on your feet when you walk with your toes or with the angle of your step, which makes them not ideal for lots of steps. And this wasn't really a problem with my Crocs Echo Clogs. Additionally, the light ride footbed is soft with a massaging texture that's not too over the top. So I think these things are pleasant to stand in. And once you add in the ventilation, I think you have a shoe that makes a great option for long days spent on foot casually. And costing it just $75 compared to most max cushion shoes, they also provide good value. I think both the Croc Echo Clogs and subsequently the Croc Echo Waves, but not as much so the Waves, make a good and actually practical option for long days spent on foot, but under certain circumstances, of course. So no, I don't think your Crocs would work well for a hike through the jungle or the jungle trek. Haha, The Rock. The Crocs Echo line makes a good option for sightseeing on reasonable terrain, a day on the boardwalk, a day at the beach, a day at the airport, and much more. Of course, the shoe isn't perfect, and I don't believe the outsole or the bottom of the shoe has great traction. So, like I said, they're not good for challenging terrain, a really large amount of steps, or really anything that requires any type of intense movement. Okay, I had to jump in. This is Editor Larry from the future, and I realized I forgot to say a couple of important things. The first is the major deterrent to Crocs is probably the way that they look. And if I'm gonna keep it 100, a buck with you, yeah, they're ugly to me too, but I don't really care. What's more important to me is that they're convenient and easy to deal with, and that outweighs the way they look. Number two is when I'm gonna have any shoe on my foot for a long period of time, especially a Croc, I'm usually wearing socks. Recently, I made the mistake of going for a 2-mile walk. Don't ask me why I did it. It was just like, hey, I wanna get these steps in now. And I was wearing my Croc Echo Waves with no socks. And I did get a little irritation on the top of my foot. But if you got straight plastic or foam or whatever, rubbing against your foot, it's likely to cause some irritation. So most of the time, I'm talking about wearing them with socks with Crocs. All right, back to it. Also, the Echo line of shoes seems to be oversized, which is great for being able to spread out your toes, but I can see it creating issues for people looking for that exact right fit. And many people may want to consider sizing down. As for just strolling around, even for long periods of time and long days on your feet, I think the Croc Echo line provides some interesting options, and most importantly, practical options that are worth looking into. Until the next one, fitness and beer. Get out of here.